Boom, ba-boom. Do, 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 do. Going live. Boom, boom, boom. We might be live on Facebook. Do, 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 do. Bum, bum. And we have to go check out Facebook. Do, do. Do, 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 do. Why is that not there? Do, do, do. Gotta go find my groups. Future stuff. The future stuff. Do, 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 do. There's Jacob. And then I turn off those so I don't go crazy. And the lady should pile in a second here. So I'm going to go just make sure that the stream and everything is working. I believe sound is good. I have my lavalier on. Ray Ray is allegedly tuning in. I don't know if she's on Facebook. I don't know if she's on YouTube. We're gonna find out. My hair looks kind of frosted. I need a haircut, if we're being honest. I wouldn't say it necessarily looks bad, but it's getting a little bit unkept. So I'm trying to, Actually, this is no product, okay, by the way. This is all grease and water. And it looks like I have a widow's peak, but I don't. That's a bunch of lies. And fake news, propaganda. Where you at, bitches? Okay. Give me another minute and I'll be good to go. It's been a little while since I've done this. I don't have any shows, and I have to keep my voice down because somebody's sleeping back there. And yeah, that's the end of that. And if she wakes up or does something, that'll be the end of that. We are not quite as flexible as we used to be. If anybody's watching, could you like mention something or like chat or be like, hey, what's going on? Like click like or anything. Why do I even try? Action needed for frame rates too low. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Gonna have another drink of coffee here. So one more minute. One more minute, and I think we're gonna be good. Because it'll be at the 2-minute mark, and then I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do my show. Because I gotta do my show. Because I gotta talk to you. Because you guys have been like, God, I miss you. God, would you do a show? God, you and then I'm like, yeah, sure, totally. I love you, ladies. And guys, the two guys who sometimes watch me. Sometimes Anarchos watches, sometimes Brian watches, but really Brian moved to like Texas, and he's been busy. Anarchos is moving to Kansas or Oklahoma. All my friends are going away, Ray Ray. At least I know Ray Ray will watch the rebroadcast, so maybe I'll just talk to you. What do I have to say? And Ray Ray, if you're on YouTube or if anybody's on YouTube commenting, I can't see your comments. So like text me or go to the Telegram channel or message me and be like, hey, WTF, Jacob, I can't talk, or I can't see you, or whatever. Give me some feedback. What do I have to talk about? My beard's a little bit more full. You notice that? Oh, it grew in a little bit. Not specifically for any reason other than like, I don't know, I kind of felt like it. And just like, I don't know, literally I have no reason for it. I have no reason. I was just like, okay. It wasn't even like there was no conscious thought that really went in. Actually there was like, maybe I could shave it, like, I'll just keep like trimming like around my mouth. And then shave, and we'll just see how things go. It's a little irritating that I might need to cut it because I don't like having a beard. Or a really thick one. I like the facial hair that hides like my jowls. And I used to like how it makes me look older, but now that I'm older, maybe I want to look younger. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to move on with it. So, hello, my name is Jacob Robertson of the Corona Cafe. Thank you for watching. Can it be the Corona Cafe? Future S-Word? The Starship Cafe? The Bay Show? Jacob's Cynicism? Jacob's Cynicism is actually pretty good. There was another name, but I already forgot it. What do I have to tell you? I'm a real estate agent in the Pacific Northwest. If you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I'm a general smarty pants. I kind of have my stuff together more than most. Man, dude, I look so much older, Emily. If it helps, I've been getting about 5 hours of sleep for the past month a night. And maybe that has something to do with it. Has a little something to do with it. Like, definitely kid added some gray to me. Yeah, Bree, it's all sad. It's all sad. Anyways, I guess I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my show. Nobody's here. Nobody's here. Nobody's here. Anyways, my name is Jacob Robertson. I'm a real estate agent in the Pacific Northwest. If you know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I am your man. What do I have to tell you? I have had 18 million jobs in my life. I've also been really curious for a long time. I was talking to Emily. Hey, Ray Ray, I would scream my head off right now, but the kid's sleeping and I can't. And holy crap, it's been a long time, so I can't yell. I just want to yell, but I can't. I'm happy to see you. Thank you for being here. Anything you want to talk about? I'm just looking at your picture right now. Let me know. Right there, let me see. Studied community mental health counseling at New Mexico State University. Yeah, New Mexico is a great place to practice that, huh? What do I have to tell you? Ray Ray, what are we going to talk about? It's just you and me today, it looks like. I don't know, it's sad. I was doing my intro. I was trying to think of some stuff. I figured I would start with, like, you know how we used to start with, like, habits and what we're doing, and then I figured, like, oh, okay, you were talking about, like, you know, yeah, them Jews and Arabs are killing each other, but what about this inflation? So I figured I'd do some money and, like, money stuff before talking about the Jews and the Muslims. Because we got time, because there's been a whole bunch of people talking about them Jews and Muslims, okay? Like, are we all going to be like, oh my god, who are they? Like, we can wait. Don't worry, they're still going to fucking be there. They've been here for 2,000 years. So, what do I have to tell you? So Ray Ray, I recently read a book. I'll pull it up. It's, actually I did 2 Scott Adams books recently. So, Reframe Your Brain. And I'll get into these in just a second. And then the other one was How to Fail at Almost Everything. Kaboom. So the first one is the one I recommend. I did recommend this book to you. Reframe Your Brain, the interface for happiness and success. So a real simple reframe, and the difference between, and like, then there's How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big. And these two things have different, oh, my face is stuck like this on my screen. Is it stuck on your screen? It's stuck on my screen. Oh well. Anyways, so this book actually helped me. So like, you know, Anarchos comes over and I'm like, hey, what's going on, Anarchos? He's like, hey, let's go smoke a bunch of cigarettes. And I'm like, okay, because I used to smoke cigarettes. And then I'm like, damn, I want cigarettes so bad. And then I smoked for like a week. And then my wife's annoyed at me and I smell bad and I hurt and whatever. So I tried to reframe on it, which is cigarettes are poison. So a famous Scott Adams reframe is alcohol is poison. And so when he's tempted to go out with his friends or whatever and drink, he's just like, that's poison. And then he doesn't want to drink so much. So I've been trying that with like cigarettes. And so anytime I crave a cigarette, I'm like, it's poison, it's poison, it's poison. And I say it out loud, it's poison, it's poison. Cigarettes are poison, cigarettes are poison, cigarettes are poison. And then I don't want to smoke a cigarette anymore. It's amazing. So it's it's like little tricks for hijacking your brain. Like it's stuff that doesn't necessarily need to be true. It's like every time I smoke a cigarette, a puppy dies. Every time I smoke a cigarette, a puppy dies. Every time I smoke a cigarette, a puppy dies. Every time I smoke a cigarette, and then you're like, I really don't want to kill puppies, so I guess I won't. And if you think that we're like rational, reasonable people, you don't, Ray, but like if you think that we're logical enough to be like, you know, that doesn't make any sense. That wouldn't work. It fucking work. It would totally work because we're so stupid. Oh wait, do I need to whisper down here? How do I sound? Do I sound good? Boop, boop, boop. So that was one book. And then the other book is How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big, which is good. Like the missus and I were talking through it, and so that actually helped me quite a bit as far as like all the planning and stuff. But I've done some affirmations as a result of it, and one of them is I'm the most fit that I've ever been. Okay? So what I've been doing recently is every morning I wake up, I'm like, I'm the most fit I've ever been. I'm the most fit I've ever been. I'm the most fit I've ever been. And I write it 15 times. Okay? And so then what happens is I go about my day, and then like it's, oh, I'm hungry and I'm driving past Dairy Queen and I could get me a Blizzard and I can get me a blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, no, I'm just going to go home and eat a turkey sandwich. So I'm doing a bunch of that stuff recently, and it actually works pretty well. It seems to be like reorienting me. Because the missus and I are finally on the same page with all this stuff. Like, she doesn't want to have any more kids. Like, part of the reason she hasn't wanted to get in shape is she's just like, if I'm just going to get fat again from being pregnant, why do I want to get pregnant? Oh my god, I do think I can come here late in the day and charm you, Dan S. My god, are you here? Did you hear me on, like, did you get a notification on YouTube? Or did you see me on Facebook? Or was it Telegram or whatever? You got to hear me talk about the Jews. Anyways, so DNS, where we been at? And hey, great to see you. I would scream, but that one's asleep. That one's asleep too. Here, you can actually, there, that one's asleep too. That's asleep, and I can't, damn. Telegram, good. Because I basically have to reach out to you guys in order to get anything going. Like, I made a joke on Facebook, which was like, hey, everybody, voting starts tomorrow, which I'm sure, like, Facebook just freaking knocked the crap out of me for doing that. Where was I going with this? Habits, reframes, getting our acts together. That was number one. So I'm going to dovetail this into step two. Step two is money saving techniques. So Ray was talking about, man, I wish I could save some of the, like, would you look at that inflation? So inflation's really bad, and we talk about it being really bad. And then I actually sat around and had a talk with my wife, who had a talk with one of her coworkers about inflation, and they both use an app called YNAB. You might consider it, Ray. Now, I don't know if you're a big budgeter. YNAB is You Need a Budget, YNAB. It's, I don't think it's free. But they have a ton of, like, finance coursey stuff, like, built into the application. And it's actually, some of the stuff isn't automated because it's designed for you to actively work at it. And it's something, if you do it 5 minutes every single day, you've got your budget, and you're like, and learn about money. Anyway, so my wife was talking with one of her coworkers, and he's like, man, everything has gone up like 39%. She's like, oh my God, my budget's at 38%. I'm like, holy crap, 40% since 2020? Let me see, Ray's got something to say, DNS. So it looks like I'm just going to, you know, it's, oh my God, my parents are getting divorced again. Back when I quit smoking, all it took was me telling myself I don't want to smell bad anymore. Literally nothing else worked before, and I tried everything. That'll work, man. You know, that was it. Like, the first time I quit smoking, actually the first time I quit smoking is like, screw this guy, I'm going to quit smoking and show him how much easier I can do it than him. But it was always like a struggle. And then the time that I really quit was when I realized, like, cigarettes made me feel worse than cigarettes made me feel better. So it's like I'm all stressed out, and the thing that I use to relieve my stress is stressing me out. So maybe I should just stop being stressed out. Anyways, reframe, money. I had like a really good money saving tip, and now I just lost it. Fuck yeah, now I remember. I sort of remember. I remember a little bit of it, Ray. We'll do Safeway first. So recently we discovered, like, I'm not going to pull it up, but you can see my picture of Starship on my phone. And so, like, I go to my app, and so recently we've been shopping from the app. So an example would be Safeway. And you can tell I do need a haircut, guys. Like, I'm aware. I'm starting to get a mullet in the back. But it's still going forward, so that's good. Anyways, so Safeway has an app, and my wife decided to go ahead and just order from it because of convenience. She's just like I was like, what do you want me to get? I was like, what do you want me to, I don't go to Safeway, and we were in a hurry, so she's just like, okay, fine, I'm just going to buy mine. And so she's doing it on her phone. And then what happened is, like, there were coupons for the stuff that we were buying in the app. And so the application was automatically applying all the discounts for stuff while it was also showing various discounts that we had. And a long story short, she ordered everything from the app, and we did it for, park and pick up. Like, you just park your car, and then they come and, like, bring you your groceries. You just pop open the back. They're like, okay. And then they, like, you touch phones or something like that. You do, like, fist bump. They used to have an iPhone. 30%. It saved us 30%. And they put the groceries in the car. So not only did I save the half hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is it would take for me to walk to Safeway and find everything I'm trying to get because I don't go to Safeway, boom, we just saved all that money. So that's my first money saving tip. Next one is credit cards. So, and my wife is way better at this, but take a look at your credit cards and see what kind of bonuses you get out of it or what kind of stuff. So, like, I've got a couple of Capital One cards. And I get 1% cash back for every purchase. Okay, that's not bad. The Costco credit card that we use, because we have a Costco credit card and a Costco membership, we get 2% back every time we use it at Costco. Because we get like, I think there's like a 1% cash back from the card itself, and then you get like a percent for like shopping using it at Costco or whatever. Right now, Chase Bank has 5% at Costco. And so you stack that with the Costco membership, and I don't remember exactly how it works because there's like, what it breaks down to is us having our executive membership and using the Chase card over at Costco gives us 6% cash back on top of the cash back that we wind up getting at the end of the year, which is like 1% on all purchases at Costco. Costco just cuts you a check. And so what it does is it incentivizes us to do the Ray Ray does the same for groceries now too. She doesn't save 30%, but definitely a good 12%. It was the misses, but I hear you. That's awesome, Ray Ray. Good job. And then there's buying in bulk. So, and also like, I don't know if you have anything like this out where you guys live. We have a store that's called Winco, and Winco is employee-owned, gigantic supermarket Costco. So it's more like a supermarket. However, it does bulk stuff kind of like Costco. It has kind of the selection of Costco where you don't have like a ton of stuff. Like, yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but it's not a ton of stuff for how big the store is. And it's employee owned. What does that mean? Chicken thighs, bone-in chicken thighs are $1.49 a pound. Boneless chicken breast is $1.99 a pound. And it has been that way for 3 years. Like the cost of a can of beans has gone up by a dime. That one has gone up 20% in the past 2 years. But my point is, it's like a lot of this inflation stuff, a lot of the stuff that's going on is just gouging. Like it's just corporations gouging you. Like we can dump on the government all we want to because they screwed up the supply chain and, like regulation. We'll get Dan S in here and he'll go on a rant about like, oh, the regulations are making everything bad because the regulations are making everything bad. But it's just greed. Like a lot of this is just unfettered greed. Like what you're seeing going on and like all this crazy revolution shit is just greed. Like the commies trying to take over the United States and destroy it is all about greed. Like the commies want stuff and there's some stuff behind that, but there's really like, let's go ahead and topple the United States as far as like, we'll topple the middle class and the political power of the middle class in the United States, and then the government can do whatever it wants. And so it'll just wage war wherever it wants to and suck up all the money it wants to. And that'll be run by megacorps, and so they get to suck up all the extra. And so if you can find like an employee-owned place, it might be better. All I'm saying. I think there was something else, Ray Ray, but I lost it because I didn't do any notes because I am not sleeping because I have 2 small children. I have a baby that's 3 months old, a daughter that is 3 years old. We've been doing this for 3 years. Over 3 years. Over 3 years we've been living in hell, everyone. Hello. Ray, we don't eat meat, so we save a lot of money that way. Our protein is beans, tofu, lentils, and tempeh. That's pretty good. You get a lot of fiber that way. Do you supplement with fish oil, though? That is my question for you, Ray. And if you, here, I'm going to, just a second. If you know anybody with a Costco membership, oh crap, I can't do that because my... So I'm plugged into a microphone. I'm not going to do that, Ray. Nice try. Here, we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here. We'll just go here. Sorry, Scott Adams. And we're going to get into the real estate, or the Israel stuff very quickly. Fish oil Costco. Fish oil. Why am I even on DuckDuckGo here? Such dog shit. Anyways, it is this product right here. Fish oil. This thing's $10. How many? 100 milligrams. So it's a gram per pill. This is like basically all of your omega-3 fatty acids, and yeah, all of your omega-3 fatty acids. You're looking at. I use an omega-3 that is vegan, but I don't know what the ingredient is because I already separated it into a pill oil. Yeah, you can also eat like walnuts and almonds and that kind of stuff. Your pill organizer, I hear you. No, trust me, I got a pill organizer too because I take a handful in the morning and a handful at night. If you got muscle aches, magnesium. Okay, if you're also having trouble sleeping, magnesium. Talk to Emily, get that bitch on some magnesium. It's going to do her some good. Okay, I think I'm getting my energy back. It's been a while. Maybe I should drink some water. So, Ray, one of the things that's advantageous of a fish oil versus your vegan sources of omega-3s has something to do with the absorption rate. I believe you absorb more from the other, but man, good for you. You really have your shit together, Ray. Like, I acknowledge you for that. I'm a little jelly. Maybe when I'm as old as you, I'll have my shit together. Because I am a hot mess. You watch a video of somebody getting their head chopped off with a shovel and see how you feel. Jesus. Man, don't go on Twitter. I've done it for you. So let's get into the news. Like, that's basically what I got, guys. Oh, and we're back at kettlebells again. We're doing kettlebells. Dan S., are you doing your weightlifting? Back to dog walks, back to kettlebells, back to doing like a minimum program. So it's like 10 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the morning, because that's really all I got. It's simple and sinister. I do some squats. I do some like bridges where I stick my pelvis in the air, we'll squeeze on my butt cheeks, and then do halos where like I take a kettlebell and like slowly rotate it around my head. Opens up the shoulders. And then we do some swings, and then I do some get-ups, working on the form. I'll just do that because I don't have an hour. I don't have, like, the program I was doing before was like 70 minutes every workout, 4 times a week, and I might have that time again someday, 5 years in the future. But not today. Dan S., Ray, if you have anything you want to talk about, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to jump into it. I wish Bree was here so she could like clue me in on some stuff because she watches the news so much more than I do. But we're going to talk about some juice. I take okay. And Dan S., what do you take? You're Mr. Science. What kind of pills do you take? Ray takes magnesium, potassium, B12, turmeric, iron, multivitamin, omega-3, calcium, zinc, and vitamin D per day. That's great. That's great. You're trying, man. You're trying. I hear you, dog. I hear you, dog. Maybe we could just... Can I tell you something I'm doing with my daughter, and maybe this will, like, inspire you guys or give you something? Actually, I'm going to backtrack. I'm not even going to go... We're not talking Jews yet. Or Muslims. So, the missus, like... You ever been in a relationship where suddenly your partner... And this could even be a friendship or anything, but... It's a relationship with another human being where they suddenly are so inspired to get their life together. Like, oh my God, have you tried going to the gym? It's literally the best. Oh my God, Rachel, you just need to go to the gym. And they're like so happy and excited about it. And like so fucking obnoxious. And they're just, you just need a gym. And like they get into it like a fad and it's a cult. And it's like, this will be going on for 6 days, bitch. Like, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so my wife did this, and I ain't calling her a bitch, but so she did this, and she's like, oh my God, okay, we're gonna get the house together, and we're gonna clean, and we're gonna start meal prepping, and we're gonna do all this stuff, and I'm like, cool. And then what happened is, okay, so we're gonna go back to Dan S.'s drugs, supplements, and then we'll get back to my story. So Dan S. takes magnesium, D3, K2, potassium, zinc, hydrolonic acid, niacin, niagen, fish oil. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good mix. I'll tell you what I take. I need to get another multivitamin. I take D3, magnesium, zinc. I don't take calcium because I can't eat enough calcium. Fish oil, a little baby aspirin. I take L-lysine. Wait, I don't get the little blisters. Because man, like babies love they're like, oh my God, look, there's a blister on your face. I'm gonna rip your face off and then shove it in my mouth. And I'm like, I don't want to give you herpes, okay, kids? Like, Jesus, try to save them from themselves, Ray. My God, how is your poor child alive? My God. Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna throw any shade. I hear Kyla's got great. So good job, Kyla. DNS has got to go. Work calls. Dude, hey, take care, man. You do you. Thanks for hopping in. I guarantee you, like, there's nothing going to be mind-bending. Here, I'll actually tell you, DNS, if I can real quickly. The show. Everyone in Hamas should be killed. The Jews are doing a whole bunch of bad stuff. It's going to pull us into a bunch of bad shit, and that sucks. The end. No idea how Kyla has lived this long with me. I get that, man. You do got some rowdy tats, which makes me think you might not have always been the lovely Ray Ray that I know today. You might have been a little bit more rowdy. A little bit more rowdy. I'm pretty rowdy. I'm less rowdy than I used to be, though. Age, am I right? Anyways, so my wife is just like, she's like the gym person. She's like, okay, we're going. And I'm like, look, babe, I really want to get on board this boat, but I am not there yet, okay? Like, I am dying. I'm so tired. Like, I'll get there, but I'm not there, okay? That's what we had talked about. So she went out of town to go take care of her sister. She came back, and she had lost all the momentum, because you know how that goes. Like, you know, you've got all this momentum, something happens for a week or longer, and then you try getting back to it, and then you're like, I don't feel like lifting, I don't feel like, and then it slides, and it's just a slow progression down where all those habits die off. So what we focused on, or like, I talked to her, and I was like, hey, look, you know, we should just try doing a little bit to get the momentum going. We shouldn't necessarily get into our program, but we'll just go ahead and just do a little bit every single day. And so she set a timer for 10 minutes to, she was very self-destructive and paying for it as I age. Tell me about it, sister. I won't go into it because I'm the one being recorded, but man, did I pay for some of that self-destructive crap. We'll talk about it on the side. It's actually very simple, and you won't be shocked by it at all. Anyways, so I was like, let's go ahead and just do some stuff to get momentum going. And so it's like, okay, I'll go ahead and just do my kettlebell warm-up. And since I'm doing the warm-up, I'm like, well, I might as well do some swings. And then I do some swings. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to do like that, I might as well do a get-up. And then I do it for 10 minutes. Okay, great. And I do it for the next 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, great. And then I do it and then I actually like wind up feeling good. So this goes into Huberman. If you know who he is, Dr. Huberman. I won't even pull him up. Actually, I will. I'll pull him up real quickly. Huberman. So this guy, Huberman Lab, if they're looking for a podcast, he is Mr. Dopamine. What does that mean? His stuff is all about how to hijack your dopamine. So he would say that before 10 o'clock in the morning, you need to get sunlight in your eyes, get some sun on your face at the end of the day, and what that'll do is it'll help reset your circadian rhythm so you can sleep better. And then also how to do things to hijack your dopamine. So like everything humans do is in search of dopamine. So you and I partying or like our self-destructive escape, screw our parents, whatever phase, that was in search of dopamine. We did that because it's just how we figured out a way to get dopamine. Like I discovered I get dopamine by being a pain in the ass and doing crazy shit. Okay, I'm very good at it. I'm very good at chaos. I'm 40s now, so it's really chilled, but man, it's there. So anyways, another one is accomplish something. So it's like get sunlight in your eyes and then go do something that you said you were going to do and planned out either in the morning or the day before. So it's like, okay, sunshine, I'm awake, drink some coffee, do kettlebells. Oh, I feel pretty great. I'm going to go have a good day. And so it's just starting that way. So this is actually where it's going. So with Cordelia, and this actually goes into some of what we're going to talk about later, I want her to be able to throw down. Man, this thing is, it's reflecting the green from the green screen. So it looks like my shadow blade. This is a wooden sword, which it's pretty neat, whatever. So we watched Raya and the Last Dragon, and at the end of it, she's like, I want to learn how to sword fight. And I was like, yeah. And so, I do want her to learn how to sword fight. I want her to learn how to sword fight. And here's why. And actually it really starts with stick fighting. And here's why, right? So we're looking at this, right? Boom, 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 boom. You do your drills, right? And there's like a handful of drills, right? Okay. This, when you're bringing like that, that's almost a punch, okay? It's actually it's almost exactly the same thing. So by us doing stick fighting, she's actually learning how to box and do other stuff, okay? But her stick could also be a knife. It could also be a rolled up newspaper. I know people don't have newspapers, but man, roll a magazine and then poke somebody in the chest really hard with it, it hurts. It's basically this. You could knock somebody out with a rolled up newspaper. I'm not even joking. Or kill them with it. Not joking. Literally not joking. So, okay, boom, she's got that weapon. Oh, okay, well, what if I actually gave her a sword? Damn, she's dangerous. What if it's a knife? She'll be more dangerous than any other fucking kid at her school. I'm starting when she's 3, okay? And so, like, sometime during the day, I set a timer. I'm like, hey, SIRI. SIRI. Set a timer for blah, 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 blah. And so then we're like, bing, 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 bing. And I just let her freaking wail on me. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Timer's up. Okay, great. And now it's also like music lessons. So we got her like this little music kit. And so it's like, okay, we're going to, hey, SIRI, set a timer for blah, blah, blah. And then we do, Mary had a little, you can't see my hand. So it's like, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, Mary had a, I don't remember exactly how it goes. Anyways, and so she's got these little bells and we do that. And then it's like, ding, timer off, boom, go. But little by little, if I just do like a little 5 minutes here and here, that 5 minutes, it's like over 50 days. Actually, we'll just say 10 days. That's 50 minutes of practice. By 100 days, that's 500 minutes of practice. And 360 days, whatever, that's like, 1,500 and so, we'll just say 1,600 minutes. How many 1,600 minutes is... I have no idea why my wife texted me that. Man, 16 was, so you check my math, right? So there's, and it turned, that's pretty interesting. So, and then we divide that by 60. So 26 hours. I can get my little 3-year-old in the next year 26 hours of knife fighting or stick fighting, which you know what toddlers are like. Try to get them to do anything that for like an extended period of time. So those little gains, and then that forces me to get better and also research this stuff, and then it integrates the habit in my head, and then I have a purpose, and then I wind up getting better at fighting and music, which I kind of want to do anyways. Like I want to be better at fighting and I want to get better at music. Because at least, here's the thing, like I would actually argue that everyone now especially like needs to create like either, I would say music, like you should actually, everyone should learn music. Everyone should learn music. My creative outlet is writing, but music's also a good thing because it's taking something that it's in here and then it's getting it out there into the real world, but not here in the digital world, okay? That's a pretty cool effect. Look at that. Look at this around my fingers. Oh my God, there's a blue line on my finger. Where's it coming from? I don't. Because at least it's not online, okay? Because like as these goggles start coming out, right, these are actually not the goggles, but as people start rolling around like this, hang on a second, I'm getting a call. They're going to be plugged in all the damn time. So if you think kids are fucking crazy today, in 10 years, 20 years, and so being able to do something in the real world will actually ground them in their bodies, in themselves, in their world, and they can actually sing songs with other people who are in the world as opposed to the fucking billions of people we're going to lose to the glasses. And then eventually like the freaking chips in our head. If Elon gets his way, which Elon will get his way because he's the master of the universe now. We could talk about that, by the way, too, if you want to. Let me know. You tell me what you want to talk about, okay? But I'm done. I'm done preaching to the choir. I hope my jokes are okay. I don't know if my jokes are as good. So Ray, where should we start? Should we start with the Muzzies and the Jews? I can't believe I said that. I apologize for making that racist comment. Like it was actually like I was, if I was talking like the kid, like the toddlers, it's like the Tods. I wasn't really like a slur, even though you can criticize Islam and it's not really a racial slur because it's a religion more than a cultural identity. I could make fun of the Arabs because that seems to be the people who are in the news right now because Israel's fighting with the Arabs. And some of the Sunnis. Jesus Christ, man, did Israel fucking piss everybody off. So we're going to talk about that, okay? We're going to talk about this. It's going to be pretty brutal, and I'm probably stick to my face, okay? I don't think I need to go into the bookmarks and talk about this stuff. So let's just go back in time. So when was the attack? Was it October 17th? Got Kyla in wrestling. She saw one match that sparked the biggest light. That's fucking awesome. Dude, high five. That's all the high fives, dude. That's so badass. Ray, I can't even tell you how happy I am for you. Like, wrestling is the shit. It's such a good skill. And she looks pretty tall. Like, no offense, you're tall. Kyla looks kind of tall from the pictures I've seen. So, yeah, get her into some wrestling. Like, teach her how to break somebody's damn arm. And so, like, the hashtag in the future is like, hey, have you ever broken a guy's arm who's tried getting fresh with you? Hashtag me too. Boom. We'll flip the script. Okay, but yeah, okay, we'll go. We're gonna talk about the Middle East now. But I'm gonna do this real quickly so I can get my timeline. Oh, Ben Shapiro. Why is Ben Shapiro's stupid face on? Oh God. Oh, that was my fault. She's 5'6" and isn't even 13 yet. God, what a bitch. Sorry, you'll have to forgive me. I'm 5'9". I'm a little resentful about it. Smoking cigarettes, Ray. I should be 5'10". Oh well, what can you do? Let's do Hamas attack on Israel. Date October 7th. It's been a month. Oh, there's some cocksucker. I should talk about that guy. Hamas kind of like blah 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 blah. It's been a month. Damn. Okay. Well, Ray. Where should we go? And I'm also going to include Emily in this. And let me get my bearings about it. I really wish producer Bree was here. That would totally this is and it's funny. I'm like, fuck. I wish Bree was here. You ever say that in your life? Fuck. I wish Bree was here. So a month ago, Hamas launched an attack, and I'm gonna talk about this like you don't know what's going on. So there's let's go here. Do I need to bring up a map? It doesn't matter. So a month ago, Hamas by the thousand. Okay, let's talk about what a Hamas is. So there's a country on the other side of the planet. It's called Israel. It's where the Jews live, and there's millions of them there. Okay, and Israel used to belong to a group of people called the Palestinians. And then there was something called the Balfour Declaration, which was in the UK. It was like, okay, we're going to go ahead and give this chunk of Israel to the Jews, because there were a bunch of Zionist Jews, which is why they talk about the Zionists all the time. Zionists are militant, like, this chunk of land belongs to the Jews. So you don't have to be Jewish to be a Zionist. Like, you could be like my mother. God bless you, Mom. My mother would probably be considered a Zionist because she's just like, that place belongs to the Jews. Everybody can get the hell out. And so the Zionists came in and they had like this little chunk of it, and then the British did what the British do. So you know how we're fighting about race and shit right now in this country? That's like a tactic as old as time. You basically create internal division in a country so you can separate them, and then you start partitioning stuff and then create new countries or whatever it is, or take whatever resources you wind up doing. So the biggest one of the biggest powers in the West is our soft power, and we're really, 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 really good at stirring up ethnic hatred. Like, the United States and the UK are the best in the world at causing racial hatred. Okay, and so the Zionists with the UK government went in there and they got different tribes of Palestinians to just freaking war with each other and hate each other, as the Jews used lawfare, or the Zionists used lawfare to take more and more land, more and more land. The Arabs didn't know what they were signing, more and more land. When the Israelis first went to Palestine, this was about 120 years ago approximately. We'll just say 100 years ago, make it easy. A little over 100 years ago to make it perfect. A little over 100 years ago, they went there. When they went there, like, the literacy rate was something like 4%. And I mean, literally well over 90% of the population was illiterate. I'm serious. I think it was like 95% of the population was illiterate. And so all these papers were being stuck on them, and they signed them, and they had no idea what's going on. Like, these are people like stuck from the agrarian age. Okay, they're using donkeys with plows to do irrigation and that kind of stuff. Anyways, okay. And so they came in there and they just fucking took everything. Like, they took these people to the cleaners. Okay? That was besides, that's a little bit of a backstory. So you have the Zionists, and then eventually, like, the Zionist Jews and the Jews, with the help of the UK and the United States, just took more and more of Israel until it was about the size of New Jersey. Then the Arab nations came in and tried picking a fight with them in a big, big way. And then the Israelis whooped their asses, and took more Israel beat their asses so badly that the U.S. government stepped in and was like, "You guys need to stop." Like, they almost conquered Egypt in a week. Okay, so what happened is, for like basically the last real 60 years, because that's when, you started running out of space, and then you had to start taking turf from people, really taking turf from people, where it's basically like, that's when the Palestinians really started getting pinched. So that's been the last 60 years. So the Palestinians have been getting pinched in Gaza and the West Bank. So it's basically like, the idea is you separate the Palestinians into two groups, and then that way they don't have like a big national identity or a route where they can all collaborate and work together to do something. Like, it's divide and conquer. And so you have Gaza, which is like this little strip, like this little tiny piece of land, which is like whatever county you're in. That's about how big Gaza is. Maybe that's that big. I bet it's smaller than Bernalillo County, to use it in, like, an Albuquerque example. It's probably smaller than Whatcom County. Okay, like the county I live in. And so they cram all these people in there. Cool, whatever. And then this is actually, I'm going to give you a little history lesson on Jacob. So I used to follow this closely. Like, I went to Israel during the Intifada. I have a bunch of Israeli friends. Like, I've been there multiple times and spent a lot of, like, these are month-long vacations in the homeland. And so I go out there, I'm like, man, the Jews, these are my people. What's up? And so I dug it, and it was pretty cool. And I was like, man, would they just stop with the suicide bombings? Or would they just stop with the bombings? And then there was some time around like 2007 when the Palestinians in Gaza elected Hamas to be their government. And Hamas are head chopping terrorists, okay? These are head chopping jihadi terrorists. Like, when Hamas took power in Gaza, anybody they identified, there weren't even trials, anybody they suspected of being a traitor, they fucking put on the back of motorcycles and just drug them through the Gaza Strip until they were just bloody masses. Okay, these head chopping terrorists. Okay, and so that was going on. I was like, well, screw those people. And then at the same time, the Israelis were building in the occupied, disputed territory. So there's this territory, like somewhere where it's like it belongs to the Palestinians, but the Palestinians had been pushed off that land, and then the Israelis started building settlements in there. Anytime that happens, violence explodes in the Middle East, okay? They really, 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 really don't like the building in the occupied territory. That's like one of the things that pisses them off so much. And Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, has, I think the way it works is he gets construction kickbacks for it. So he's a big proponent of, go ahead and develop this area. Because he makes money off of it. And also, like, as the Jewish settlers go into these disputed areas and, create settlements in cities, like, there's over 500,000 people there now. That's Albuquerque. Now make them Israelis and give them fucking, like, and make them, like, militant Israelis. Like, give everybody in Albuquerque military experience, throw them out in the middle of the desert, and now try getting them to move. Are they going to move? No, they're not going to move. They're not going to move. And so that works for him because basically it's a way of squeezing the Palestinians, making them in a smaller and smaller camp. Israel grows. It becomes a bigger country. And then just keep doing that until the Palestinian, and, this is just kind of me saying words, not advocating anything, until they are literally, culturally or figuratively genocided. Okay, just push them off the land, take it over, break their will, destroy their countries, destroy their civilization until they fall kind of like, the native reservations where they just wind up drinking themselves to death. Well, so about a month ago, some of these Palestinians who are members of Hamas, the head-chopping terrorists, decided to wage an attack in Israel, and they went into the occupied territories, which I personally think matters, okay? I have been to Israel. I loved Israel. I was an Israeli maximalist. I wanted to immigrate there, Ray Ray. I even went through the process until I was like, man, they're gonna totally find out like I don't belong there, because I'm not really Jewish. I'm kind of Jewish. I'm kind of Jewish, but I'm not like. You actually have to be like really Jewish to get there. And I'm just too lazy to. I'm not gonna learn Hebrew. So, anyways, you have to be really Jewish to get over there. Okay. I never went to the occupied territories when I was there. Okay, like I never went there. Like there were just places where it's like, that's really dangerous. Okay, and so what happened? Some Israeli Jews decided to have a rave. I think I talked about this last time. They had a rave on the other side of the border from these people who've been kicked off their homeland, and they're fucking terrorists. Like, the last thing I'm going to do is snort a bunch of Molly powder, get crunk, and then party. Where the other side of, like, there's a wall there. And on the other side of the wall, the people who are hearing your club bumping music, like, I don't know what the kids listen to, they're bumping music, want to kill you. Like, it's the last thing I would do. And I'm not justifying what Hamas did. Don't worry, you're going to hear it. So anyways, so Hamas decided to attack the Israelis. You can chill out, Cup. So they go over the wall, and they attack something like 22 spices, and also one other back thing, like the Israeli military is legendary. Israel is ranked as the world's 4th strongest military. Okay, and as island, or like a piece of land the size of New Jersey. Okay, it's got the largest air force in the world after the United States. Okay, they're real. They're legit. Like they have like their like I don't remember how many, like their special force, like. Long story short, they have a lot of special forces there. Okay? And they also have lots of teenagers walking around with freaking M4s on their back with banana clips that have like another banana clip like taped to them. Everywhere. Like everywhere. Anyways, so like we'll just say 5,000 Hamas members go over the border and they just massacre 1,300 people, I think it was. And to put things into perspective, and I gotta say this because it's gonna tie into something I want to talk about in a little bit, and I'm gonna write a lot of articles about, because this might be where I just like I'm gonna dig a line in the sand. Like, Ray, it's time to pump the fucking brakes on whatever's going on. Okay, like the people who run this country have lost their damn mind. I honestly had no idea their military was that big. Yeah, dude, it's something almost, unless there's certain deferments that you can wind up getting, but they have a mandatory draft unless you're Orthodox Jewish, and even the Orthodox Jews are now enlisting. Okay, everybody has to go in, like it's an automatic conscription. So every single fucking person in Israel is a vet. Okay, 1,300 of these people got whacked. Okay, they just got whacked, and we're talking brutally whacked, because they also don't have 2A. Okay, they don't have guns. I would like to let you know, Ray, that the Second Amendment is now and forever protected because of the freaking protests and the freaking riots that have been going on in this country. Well, I mean, they happened in 2020, which pretty much, it's like, okay, we're not getting rid of the Second Amendment. And now they're happening again. Okay, we're not getting rid of the Second Amendment. And then Israel, which doesn't have a Second Amendment, and a whole bunch of soldiers, wound up having 1,300 people whacked by a bunch of people with guns. And we have more guns in this country than we have people. The Second Amendment's here to stay, baby. Woo! 2A frame. Huh? High five. Just kidding. I'm sorry. I apologize. Don't listen to that. Catch it. Bree, cut that. Okay, so they in land and sea. Okay, so like they have like a little prop plane flying over, like they hit it with, and so they paratrooper in, and like at that rave they killed 250 ravers. Okay, like Molly freaking woo, we're dancing a music fest. We're Coachella, bro. Boom, 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 boom. 250 of them. Okay, they go into people's houses and start fucking killing kids in front of their parents while live streaming it. I'm going to just give one more example because I want to move on from this, because it's pretty disgusting, and I saw just so much fucking carnage that it was unbelievable. Like, what literally burned into my soul. And this is going to be graphic, so hashtag trigger warning. There's a lot of Indonesians and Filipinos in Israel because they wind up, like, I think it's in Thai. So the Thai take care of the elderly. They also do a lot of gardening.
And the Israelis love them because they're just like, they have such a, like, you know, the East really cares about old people. So they're just fantastic caretakers. And so Israel grants them work visas to come in. So there's a Thai guy, I think he's Thai or Filipino guy, clearly not Israeli. Is just a gardener, and so he's just doing his gardening thing, and then the Hamas terrorists come in and just fucking they knock the guy down, and then they take his head off with a shovel. Okay, so this guy's alive, like he's just on the ground. And have you ever tried like using a shovel, like? You kind of got to like put it on the ground and then you step on it or whatever. It's not like you just like hit the ground and you go in. So it's like glancing blows as like they're just like beating this guy in his neck, in his head as he's like gurgling, like doesn't even know what's going on because he has so much trauma going on to his body. And they're just like hacking at him with a shovel, taking his fucking head off, while screaming Allah Akbar, laughing and fucking streaming it. Like they're just like blah, blah, Allah Akbar, and they're like ha 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 Allah Akbar, ha 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 ha. So you have to kill all those people, okay? Like, let's just go ahead and be frank. And I'm going to talk about the Israelis being terrible for a second, but like, anybody who takes joy out of killing another human being with a shovel and praises God for it, and this person is just a fucking innocent like this is literally somebody on a work visa. He's not Jewish, he's not Israeli, and he doesn't even look Jewish or Israeli. He's clearly Asian. Okay. And they live stream it. Like just the fucking brutality of it. It's unbelievable. So, you know, it's like I had a girlfriend, she said, you know what you don't do? You don't jail a rabid dog. She was also a psychologist, pretty rowdy. Anyways, and so I'm like, okay, cool. So the Israelis see this stuff, and it's like, and Hamas is just laughing at them, like they're laughing at it, like, and they're actually trying to get Israel to do exactly what it's doing right now. Okay, and they're laughing at it. Okay, so that's bad. And so what does the IDF do, or how do the Israelis respond? They are fucking bombing the shit out of the Palestinians, okay? So when Hamas took over, it was like 51% of the population, like half of the population did not want to go with it. And that was their last election, okay? It's been a military coup, okay? So, you know, the Palestinians exist under a military occupation inside their border, surrounded by a bigger military occupation, which is Israel, okay? Like, these people are fucking screwed. There's nothing they can do, okay? And Gaza is a tiny strip. And so, like, people are like, Israel, I understand that you're pissed off, and everybody knew Israel was going to drop the hammer on these people, okay? It was no shock what's happening over there. And so, and again, like, the IDF seriously almost conquered the Arab world 40 years, actually that was like 50 years ago. They beat their asses that badly, okay? And so, and Hamas knew what was coming. That's why they have all these bunkers. That's why they have, like, you know, 300 miles of tunnels underneath Gaza. Yeah, they knew they knew exactly what was going to wind up happening, as a context. And so the Israelis are now just fucking indiscriminately killing people. The Israelis have dropped more bombs on Gaza in 1 month than the Americans dropped in the first year of the Afghanistan war. Which was the most bombs that we dropped in Afghanistan. Like the most bombs were dropped in the first year. And Afghanistan's the size of fucking Texas. Okay? So you have like the area of Texas getting bombs, and then you're talking about a place that's smaller than Bernalillo getting that many bombs. Okay? So they're just fucking annihilating the place. I think it's like, I'm certain, and these are, you know, it's hard getting any, we're going to talk about truth too. But like, they're saying that there's over 36,000 or 3,600 dead kids. Okay, so 36 kids have been blown to shit by these bombs that they're dropping on them indiscriminately. Like, they're just bombing the fuck out of them. And here's why you know it's indiscriminate. the Israelis, like the great Middle Eastern military, and then there's the Mossad. You know, the Mossad is Epstein. Okay, like these people are and whoever joined, great. I mean, these guys are the intelligence guys. Like the Israelis are known for being like badass commandos, and like they have the best secret service, and they're like so badass, and they're so smart because they're Jews, and oh my god, and they make microprocessors, and like the second, or I think it's like the second most advanced country in the world for biotech is Israel. Okay, like they are a technological like marvel. It's like us, the South Koreans, Japan, Israel. Boom, nobody comes close. Unless you're talking like Germany or Finland or something like that, some European country. So anyways, 3,600 children, okay? So we're talking about, you know, like my daughters, okay? Our kids. So just imagine you're like this Palestinian family. You hear that Hamas just did this big attack and you're like, oh God, the Israelis are coming now. And then you just hear bombs going off constantly because we're talking like, again, more bombs than were dropped in Afghanistan in a single month. So you're constantly hearing that fucking shelling. So your kids are scared all the time. You're like, Daddy, I'm so scared. And you're like, it's okay, sweetie. It's going to be okay. I promise. Allah will protect us or whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then don't worry, we'll go to heaven and you'll have your virgins or whatever. Daddy, I'm so scared, blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, like I go out to go get some breakfast and then I'm fucking digging through concrete trying to get my kid out of the rubble and my hands are bloody fucking stumps. Because they don't have any power, okay? They don't have any power. They don't have any, like they do have some power. They do have some gas, but they cut the Wi-Fi. So the Israelis cut the Wi-Fi and internet and electricity in and out of Gaza to make sure that the signal can't get out. So like all this terrible shit that's happening, they don't have a connection to show it. Like they can't live stream any of this stuff. So what you're getting out of Israel is a bunch of propaganda videos that were already created. Like we're getting tons of Palestinian propaganda from shit that's like 10 years old. So like a lot of these videos that you're seeing on TikTok or whatever, like the kids are saying, aren't even this fucking conflict. And it is, I'm not going to say it's besides the point. It doesn't matter. I already lost that thought. Anyways, and so, Ray, you lose Kyle in a bombing. How fucking pissed are you gonna be? I'm gonna lose my kid. Like, dude, if that happened to me, fucking, I would. It gets worse. So, they've killed almost 10,000 people in Gaza at this point. They killed 3,600 children in a month. And the United States just gave them $15 billion. And imagine you're a Muslim and you saw this. Like I ain't a Muslim, okay? I don't have any Muslim friends right now, but like I have Muslim acquaintances. And like I used to work in a Persian restaurant for a long time, and I've been to the Middle East, like I've been to the Arab world, which I'm going to bash at some point in this, but like at the same moment, I'm a human, and then I also see what's happening to these people, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, more children have died in this conflict than died in the Russia-Ukraine war, which has cost almost 500,000 lives, okay? That's how fucking brutal the Israelis are being. Which pretty much everybody expected it because the Israelis are like, they've been dealing with the fucking Palestinians for 100 years and they're just like, let's just wipe them out. We'll just fucking kill them all. We'll get it over with. We'll take over this country and then we'll have our own little circled land, which is magical thinking. Like it's just magic to think that that would ever work. And so that's where we're at. Now let me try to think my way through this. So you and I can look at this, I think, and be objective about it. Is that fair? Like, can you say that, oh, a bunch of terrorists going in and fucking murdering babies in front of their children, okay? Or in front of their parents. Murdering fucking babies in front of their parents and live streaming it and laughing about it. I can say that's really bad, and I could say that the people who did that should die. With that said, I don't think you should kill 4,000 kids with bombs. Okay, like I don't think that's a solution to it. I personally would have sieged the area, show how I was working to, and this is Jocko Willenick's thing, this ain't mine. I would siege the area, I'd completely encircle it, and then I would kind of go block by block and be like, hey, everybody who doesn't want to be part of this, what's about to go down, you can get the fuck out of there. and we're just going to go in and we're going to indiscriminately kill these fucking people. And I'm not talking about like, some sort of siege campaign where it's like you're doing the worst fighting Modern Warfare. Like, you play Modern Warfare, right? It's the worst, okay? Like, it's literally Modern Warfare. Like, urban modern combat is just the worst. Because you have like militants, civilians wearing the same clothes right next to each other. Like, there's a million places like a sniper could be hiding. Like, it just sucks, okay? So anyways, just be like, hey, look, we're going to give these people water. Hey, we're going to give them some food. Hey, we're going to give them some shelter over there. You can go through this place, and everybody's on the other side of the line. We just fucking kill them. And do that for a year. And then, okay, cool. You can do that without killing a bunch of kids. And you're going to lose some soldiers, but they're soldiers. Okay, but what this is doing is it's just like, look at, so I'm sure you've seen the protests, okay? These protests are massive. Like, these are as big as the Black Lives Matter rallies in some countries, which is fucking fascinating because it's literally the same people. So this is where we start getting really into the weeds, Ray. This is where it gets super, super complicated, and we kind of got to pick a side, kind of. Okay, so I can look at this stuff and I can say it's wrong. Actually, let's just go a little bit further. So you've got like the generational gap, okay? So, the Zoomers are really pissed off about it, and that's why they're boycotting Starbucks. I only had a second to look at it. Like, you said that, and I was like holding my baby, like, why is Starbucks banned? I was like, okay. So I didn't really look into the Starbucks thing too much, but I kind of got the gist. Okay, so the Zoomers are super pissed off about it, rightfully so. But the Zoomers have no fucking context, history. Like, they don't know about the Holocaust. So, like, during these marches, like, you hear fucking, like, 18-year-old girls talking about killing every single Jew on the planet. Like, why is that going viral? So these kids don't know about the Holocaust. Like, I remember I went to a Comic-Con with Emily once, and there was this guy, and he was making fun of his girlfriend. He was like, did you know that she didn't know the Holocaust was real? And I was like, what? Yeah, she seriously didn't know the Holocaust was real. And I was like, damn, that's terrible. And they were like kind of flipping. I was like, wait a second. What do you guys know about the Holocaust? And it's like, oh, some people were killed. And I was like, some people were killed. Emily, how many people do you think died in the Holocaust? And she's like, I don't know, like maybe 6,000, 10,000. Try 6 million Jews. Okay, 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust, okay? And let's carry this out a little bit further. And then there was 5 million other people who are like homosexuals and gypsies. Those were the two big groups that got it, but there were some other ones, like I think like Armenian Christians or something like that. Anyways, yeah, so a whole fucking ton of and we just lived through we didn't just live through it. It seems like yesterday. God, I miss it so much. But remember when Donald Trump was president and everybody was like, oh my God, he's a Nazi. Oh my God, these MAGA, they're a bunch of Nazis. They're white supremacist Nazis. They're just a bunch of Nazis. So the people who spent like fucking 7 years, stop being my friend too, called me like a bootlicking fucking Nazis, are now calling for death to the Jews. What the fuck do I live in, Ray? Like, what kind of world what is this? How are they so goddamn dumb? Like, how are they just so goddamn stupid? Like, I'm floored by it. I'm flabbergasted by it. Like, they throw around the words like fascist and Nazi and have no idea what they mean. They have no fucking clue. Like, it's just my timeline's filled with it, of fucking kids saying like, man, Hitler didn't go far enough. What can we do, Ray? Well, this is going to get really complicated. That's a great question. I'm glad you sidetracked me. So let's do what Ray and I can do. And what can, we'll say the Corona Kittens can do. What can the Corona Kittens do? And then what can we as, people in our community do? And then what can, America do and whatever. I'm going to go to whatever first. And the whatever is the Palestinians and the Israelis. There's fuck all we can do about Palestine and Israel. Okay? That ship has sailed, okay? They're going to have, and the Israelis are not yet done stomping the fucking shit out of the Palestinians. They're not going to stop, okay? You can emotionally prepare yourself more for what's happening. And this is also why I was saying don't pay attention to it because it just sucks the life out of you. Like, there is an ass whipping that is going on currently in the Middle East, and it's going to fucking continue to go on. Like, these protests that are going on in the Middle East and Europe are just going to fucking grow. Like, as long as the Israelis are bombing these people, it's still going to grow. And their propaganda is so bad. And I really want to talk to you about that. So if you can bookmark, like, I might make a note right here. Propaganda war, because it's really important. So what can we do? Like you and I, we can not get involved. Okay? We don't need to pay attention to this, right? You do not need to spend any emotional energy on this conflict. I do not need to spend any emotional energy on this conflict. I choose to because A, I'm a masochist, and B, this is kind of my job, even though I don't get paid for fucking doing a show or writing. Jesus. But it's kind of my job. It's like, you know, I want to put some truth out into the world and explain things so people can understand it. And so that's what I'm doing. Like, I go to both sides. Like, I went to my mom and I was like, hey, you know what? I get why you're upset and what the Hamas did was horrific, but you can't kill a bunch of kids, okay? You just can't kill a bunch of kids for revenge because it's just going to create a whole bunch of blowback. Like, we got an open border. So many people have gone across the American border since Mr. Joe Biden got elected fucking president that it would be like the amount of people that have come into this country during his administration would be the 10th largest state in the United States of America. That's how many fucking people have come in there. Do you know how many people from the Middle East that is? Fucking hundreds of thousands of people from Muslims from Africa have come here. Okay, we've been bombing Africa for 20 years. Over 20 years we've been bombing. If you really want to get real about it, we've been bombing Africa for 70 fucking years. And over 100,000 of those people have come into this country. Then the Israelis go kill 4,000 kids and then we give them $15 billion. It's going to be a fucking nightmare when this thing pops. Okay, and now the liberal, like the left, the far left is like, oh, we should just bring a whole bunch of Palestinians in here. In Palestine, their schools are geared towards teaching them to be fucking martyrs for Allah. Okay, it's like the highest privilege, the best thing they could do with their lives is get themselves killed and murder a bunch of Jews in the process of it, and then they get their 72 fucking virgins. You're talking about a group of people who have been indoctrinating 3-year-olds on being murderers. Okay, you can't pull that soft, and I'll get to your comment in a second. Okay, yeah, now I got you. Sorry, I was reading your comment real quick. Okay. But it's just like you can't pull that software out of their, like that, like unindoctrinating somebody from something like that. What does it take, 5 years, 10 years? But you're gonna bring a fucking million people in, like we don't do any vetting. Like we can't even like look at school. Jesus Christ, it's terrible. Do you think we can take on a campaign like that? And so you have these people who are just like indoctrinated to hate us, have a damn good reason to hate us, and now they're fucking here. So what I am trying to do is get people to like call for peace. Like, I'm just calling for peace. I'm like, end of the bombing. Let's stop this bombing. Let's just stop all this bombing. And I'm not saying there's going to be a terrorist attack, by the way. There will be, but I'm not saying there's going to be. Like, the fucking evil people who caused COVID and caused like the Ukraine war want a terrorist attack in the United States. They want a terrorist attack in the United States more than fucking anything. You know why? Because then they can go ahead and get their giant monitoring system. They can get their Patriot Act 2 going, and then they can just like shove their fucking like microphones up our asses even more. And have a real war. Like Ukraine and Russia, it wasn't enough to really get the Benjis going, but like a war with the Islamic world, man. They were able to grift off that shit for 20 years. Maybe they can get another 20 years out of it. Am I right? So there's all that. So what we can do is talk to people and just be like, excuse me, Mrs. Zionist, who is my family. I understand why you're upset about this, and I understand that it's, not good, but you also have to understand that these are human beings too, and they're going to act like human beings, and what would you do if your child was killed? And then you just kind of talk them off of a cliff, and you kind of bring them towards the center. And then you talk to the, people who side with the Palestinians or whatever. It's like, look, what Israel's doing is fucking horrific, but are we responsible for what our government's been doing? Okay, like really, the United States has been bombing the fucking Middle East for 20 years. I know Emily was in the anti-Iraq war protests. I know a whole bunch of people. Should Emily be held responsible for what, some fucking, politicians who are in the pocket of Lockheed Martin and Boeing do? No, Emily should, like, the civilian should not be responsible for this stuff. So you talk to the people on the other side and you're like, hey, look, the Jews are not their government. What you need to do is support Jews who are opposed to Zionism, and something like that. Okay, so I'm just talking like de-escalation. Like, I think our job, Ray, which you and I are specially geared for, more than any other Corona kitten, I would argue. Actually, Dan S. is pretty chill. If you met Dan S., he's really chill. We're peacekeepers, man. We're peacekeeper negotiators. Like, hey, I understand you're all pissed off about this, but have you considered the other side? And I understand that you're mad and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, have you considered blah, 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 blah. And just talking people off a cliff. De-escalate. Our job is de-escalate, de-escalate, de-escalate. De-escalate, de-escalate. Bring the temperature down, de-escalate. And it's like fivefold why. Okay, so I'm going to go to your comment. I won't protest in a way that everyone else does because it's too dangerous and Kyla needs me. Exactly, dude. Don't go to a protest, okay? Like, you know what's going to happen at one of these protests? Like, I know, I'm shocked it hasn't happened yet, but these. Okay, now we can get into the interesting things, like the where I'm like, man, this is really weird. Like, the Israelis and Palestinians killing each other. That makes sense. Us giving a country fucking $15 billion for blowing up kids. That makes sense. That actually makes sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me is how poorly the Israelis have done with the propaganda war. Okay, the Israelis were Epstein. Okay, they're real good at blackmailing people. Okay, sorry, I just remembered some shit that I said about whatever. So they're good at blackmailing people. They're good at like intelligence stuff. I lost that thought. Sorry, I should think. My kid's got a swimming class, so I got to go in like 15 minutes probably. I might not get to the rest of the show. But anyways, here's the point. America used to be so in the bag for Israel. They used to be like, screw the Middle East. Like, yeah, it's the only functional democracy in the Middle East. Ray, like, there's a sign that's like gays for Palestine or queers for Palestine. It's illegal to be gay in Gaza. Like, if you're found out to be a homosexual, you get jailed for 10 years. Literally. And by literally, I also mean, like, you know how bad it is in Gaza, I'm guessing somewhat maybe. Like, do they have enough food or place to shelter prisoners, especially gay ones? And it's a sin to their fucking religion to even be gay? No, they just kill them, okay? Like, we're talking about people, like, it's pretty damn vicious over there. So we have, like, bad things are happening to people who ain't like us. And it's done by people who are like us. Like, if you go to Israel culturally, like, it could be any American city. It could be any American state. Okay, it feels the same. It looks the same. They all speak English. They're Western. They dress the same. They listen to the same music. Like, they watch the same shows. It's like the 52nd state, 51st state. But I was getting sidetracked with this. Anyways, and so you had like the boomers and everybody and like, yeah, rah, 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 Israel, Israel, Israel. And now you have the zoomers and like, man, F Israel, we love the Palestinians and blah, 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 and screw the Jews, blah, 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 blah. Like, that much of a generational inversion and like that shouldn't happen. Like, that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't be even possible. Which makes me think it's deliberate. Like, I think what's happening to these kids is they're being brainwashed by the internet, okay? So I think TikTok is getting them to, and probably Instagram and whatever, like the algorithms, because let's just go ahead and take a look at the algorithms really quickly. So most of the social media comes from Silicon Valley, like the most liberal fucking place in the United States of America, like so absurdly liberal it's falling apart. My kid's waking up. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to try to wrap this up. I don't know if she's awake yet. Damn. I'm going to hurry. I'm going to focus. I can pull this together. I'm going to set an intention, Ray. Like, I don't remember, like, we were talking and like, how do you deal with people not thinking that you're a bitch when you're just trying to communicate with them? You set an intention of, I'm going to communicate this point and I'm going to make sure that they don't think I'm a bitch. So I'm going to intend that I can bang this out in the next 2 minutes, 1 minute. The kids are getting brainwashed by an algorithm, and it's caused by far left San Francisco, which they have been in bed with CARE, which is the Council of Arab and Islamic Relations. Barack Obama hated the neocons. I'm going to have to do another episode on this, but he absolutely hated the neocons. And the neocons are like a fusion between the Israeli military, the Zionists, and then the military-industrial complex. Like, that's what a neocon is, okay? And they work together to wage war and do all kinds of terrible shit. He hated them, so he went ahead and supported their allies, who are from fucking the medieval age. Like, we're talking head shop and terrorists. Like, that's who he chose to, like, he's just like, well, I hate these warmongers. I'll just go ahead and go with the warmongers who used to ride horses. The Ottomans, the fucking Barbary pirates, or Blackberry pirates, whoever they were. The Barnaby Pirates. Who were the pirates? Anyways, so he got in bed with those people, okay? The Muslim Brotherhood. And, you know, they have been using their money through Qatar, funneling it into Washington, D.C., and they're giving so much money to Harvard and so much money to, and trust me, this actually makes sense, they're pumping in so much money into the United States with Arab oil money that they are displacing the amount of money that Israeli Jews and bankers are sending into this money. So it's basically like the Democratic Party is getting a lot more money from Muslims than they are from Jews. Get the fuck out of here, Jews. Arabs, how's it going? To the point where, and then they're pumping it through the algorithm. So you also have TikTok, which is run by the Chinese, who wants to cause much internal division in the United States so we can all fucking kill each other. Then you have the protesting industrial complex. The reason that these protests look exactly like the Black Lives Matter protests is because they're the exact same people, the exact same organizations doing the exact same fucking thing. So what's happening right now is part of a script, okay? It's basically like, we're going to go ahead and wedge the fucking, like, this is our big wedge issue. Boom, we're going to shove it down people's throats. So what can you do? Be a peacekeeper. Don't pay too much attention. Focus on your own life. And I'm going to have to get back to you. I got to take care of my kid before I hear it, okay? I love you. I will talk to you later. I will come back. I got to go, Ray. Take care. I'll be back. If you have any questions, hit me. I will, also, I can do smaller videos. Like, if you have a question on anything, I'll do like a 5-minute explainer on TikTok and send it to you, I guess. I don't,